In this episode,
So I know what I'm connecting to here, and even though Mary is really happy to connect, etc., it's your mom that recognizes your suffering. He liked her.
Yes, he
yes,
did.
I think he would have liked to have been connected to you, and all that stuff. Yeah. So he's passed now, so he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So. Now this is how he died, because he's showing that there was an accident and there was this huge, and this was a drunk driver he's showing too. So ever since I was little, I had a strange and uncanny ability to know things about people. But when I was 19, I was the victim of violence, and I had a really strange out-of-body experience. The worst day of my life became the best day because it left me with an ability to help others in a really deep and meaningful way. I'm able to connect and communicate and share messages from our loved ones who've passed on and are part of spirit now. And it's all about hope, healing, forgiveness, and most of all, love. I'm Colette Baron-Reid, and I'm here to share messages from spirit. I'm getting good at this. Okay, so Mary is your aunt, and Ruth is your mother, and we have a cancer, and then a cancer survivor also. Who is that? That's alive right now in your family. So I don't know what kind of message I'm getting through, is that there's a cancer but no cancer. So what does that mean to you?
Well, my mother had ovarian, so I took the the breath testing.
Cancer and no cancer.
So
no
I
cancer.
did not have the gene.
You don't have cancer, apparently, yes.
Right.
Excellent, that's
Yes.
what she's saying. Yes, cancer and
Okay.
no cancer. Perfect, so she had the cancer. She died pretty quick, she's showing me. And that was hard for you because you got along really well. So you lost your best friend who,
Well, is it my mom or my
I
aunt?
think it could be your aunt we're talking about.
My great aunt. She was more of a mother.
Yeah, okay, because I'm definitely picking up somebody you got along great with, yeah. So this would be Mary then we're talking to. Okay, so you know who Ruth is, you know who Mary is, according to the way you related to them. So
Right.
you've lost a lot of the women in your life. And when I say lost a lot of the women, it's been hard for you, and I do pick up this is to do with your mom not mothering you somehow, right? That you actually had to raise yourself. Does this make sense to you at all? So I'm going to say there's an abandonment here. So I understand that Mary is the one that really raised you, but not quite, because she wasn't really allowed to. So you were abandoned and yet not allowed to be parented. Does this make sense to you at all? That's what Ruth is apologizing for. That she could have turned you over, but somehow she was narcissistic too. She's saying she was very narcissistic. It was always about her. And that, for you, you're very sensitive. And she was like, why are you crying and all this stuff, right? She could be, because you scared her. Do you understand this a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know what I'm connecting to here, and even though Mary is really happy to connect, etc., it's your mom that recognizes your suffering, and that don't be afraid of intimacy because she never taught you how to have it. Do you understand this? Because you have so much to offer the world, and she's really proud of you. And she never told you that in life, so she wanted you to know that. Bless you. Okay.
My mother, Ruth, she passed away about 20 years ago. We weren't really close. She abandoned me when I was little. She did have cancer. That is not how she passed away, but she did pass away quickly, like Colette had said. I don't really remember a whole lot about her. She was pretty selfish. And I did have my great aunt who stepped in and was kind of the role of the mother figure in my life for about the first 12 years of my life. So it was pretty emotional, and it was hard for me to talk because I was filled with all this emotion.
coming up, Howard's brother speaks his mind.
He liked her.
Yes, he did.
I think he would have liked to have been connected to you and, all that stuff. Yeah, so he's passed now, so he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So,
In this reading, Howard connects to his brother.
So I looked at them. I knew it was a blonde I was going to, and I picked up lose my husband, get him back. Different, right? Like lose him on purpose. Do you see what I'm saying? So not get him back in terms of remarrying, but you guys have a much better relationship now. So you were always meant to be really good friends. Do you work, what am I saying here? So I'm looking at a type of consulting, engineering, consulting engineer, land
I'm
development.
in sales and engineering and
Oh,
industrial
engineering.
stuff, yes.
And you work with consulting engineers. I did
Yes.
say, yes, okay.
Yes.
You sell to them.
Yes.
Yes, great. You should have stayed married to him. He's going to do awesome in the next couple of years. It's like, I would suggest the two of you getting back together. No. You're crossing a lot of borders with this as well, too. So you're going to cross provincial and state borders with this. So you're going
Yes.
across Canada and the U.S. Very, very good for you. I see this is going to be, like, I do feel that you had a dip, a big dip, about 6 years ago. Is this 5 or 6 years ago?
Yes,
And
I was let go probably 9 years ago.
Okay, and then you
Yeah.
it took
Now
you a
I
while
found
to
with
get
this,
yourself
yes.
together. And also, was there a death for you in 2008 or 2009? Or was that you?
My brother was 5 years ago.
Okay, I'm close. Did he start getting sick at the end of?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So you started losing him at that time, around
Yeah.
2008, 2000. Okay. He liked her.
Yes, he did.
I think he would have liked to have been connected to you, and all that stuff. Yeah. So he's passed now, so he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So, he thinks this whole separation thing is a joke, but that's what I'm connected to. But that would be his personality. So
Yes.
he was a very playful man, and I'm seeing did he have to have a transfusion or some kind of complete? Did you give him blood? He's showing me something to do with a system, or there was a systemic illness?
He had cancer,
But was it
pancreatic cancer.
systemic? Did it go through like leukemia? Did it go through his body?
Oh, his wife. So
Oh.
the person you're talking about, his wife had died of leukemia.
Thank you.
And he was.
Thank you. Okay.
yeah.
So that makes sense then, because I'm seeing that as actually a really positive thing. So I was curious about why would I see that as a good thing, but I get it now. So he's with her. That makes a lot of sense. And he would have been devastated by that loss as well, especially because I get that they were not doing well as a marriage when she died. Is this
They weren't
correct?
together. They weren't together.
You're right, so they weren't doing, yes. And so, because I feel that was a great remorse for him, that they didn't stay together. And that's why he wants to talk to the two of you right now, because of what you are together. Even though he can't make you guys get married because you've moved on, it's fine, right? But that he's commenting on the closeness because he didn't get to do that with her. Does that make sense to you at all? Yeah. So he got to make his amends on the other side. Yeah. He had a lot of there's a lot of hard, you tried to help him and it didn't work many years prior because he was mentally very unstable off and on. And says that he had untreated manic depression or untreated alcoholism, but and he never got sober for any length of time. He did for sections and he kept asking for money and all this kind of stuff. So he wants to say to you how grateful he was that you treated him with dignity. Even though you had every reason to be mad at him, and because he lied all the time, is what he's saying about everything, and you know about that. So, and that's why also he couldn't be there for his wife who passed. So, he does want to acknowledge the two of you, really important friendship, and how deeply it means to him that you guys care enough about each other as human beings that even though the marriage didn't work out, that you are really very, very good friends, and you genuinely care for each other, and how healthy that is, and what a great thing you're going to do for people watching this show, that they can see this is possible. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We are both divorced again from our other partners, and we've become the best of friends. Plus, we're parents to one of our kids, So we wanted to keep that relationship going in that way. Alan was my bigger brother. He was my mentor. I looked up to him for a number of years. And when he had his personal demons come out, such as alcoholism, and that sort of threw us back as a family and myself individually, we certainly tried to help him through that. He did recover, but by the time he recovered, all the damage was done. Alan actually introduced us, Christina and myself. I knew my brother's wife, who knew Christina. So he very much liked the fact that we were married, very much liked the fact that we had a child together. When we divorced or separated in divorce, he was somewhat, disappointed. I don't know if he's disappointed in myself, but certainly I believe that when he did pass on, Christina and I were not as close as friends even at that time. But I believe now he feels that we're very close friends and we should stay that way.
Up next, Louisa gets a message from her brother.
Now this is how he died, because he's showing that there was an accident and there was this huge, and this was a drunk driver he's showing too. So. So I've been doing this for a long, long time. And what's very interesting about doing a show like this is that I'm kind of thrown into an audience and I have to listen to the pictures and images, and I actually hear the pictures too, which is kind of hard to say that, but I do. And get the names, and sometimes people will butt into a reading that are sitting beside that person. But at the end of the day, what you're going to see, and I think you're going to see through the entire show, is that the people on the other side come through me always to build a bridge back to that person so they can change. Not just that they get a message that they're loved, but they really address the things that are haunting that person today in real time. So I think that's really interesting, and let's do some more. Okay, so I'm being shown nightclubs and things like that. So unless I'm picking up, what does this mean?
Well, he was in a tow truck. He owned a tow
So
truck company.
he would go and pick up, pick up cars or whatever. And he worked late at night, correct?
Yes.
So, because this happened at night, is
Yes,
this
it
correct?
did.
Yes. So he's showing me people being endangered by people at a nightclubs. Okay, so it's like the spilling into the street. That's what he's showing me, right? So
Yes, it was.
does that make more sense now? This is how he died, because he's showing that there was an accident and there was this huge, and this was a drunk driver he's showing too.
Yes.
So, he's showing. He didn't feel anything, so that's interesting, because I feel that he had a really severe head injury and a bad concussion and died from a neck thing. Is it?
He was in intensive care for 14 days.
But his whole head was kaput.
Everything.
Yes. So you said 14 years?
14 days.
14 days, yeah, because he's like going, I wasn't there that long. Okay, because I thought that in my head, I thought 14 years, and then they talked to me going, no, that's not what I'm thinking is inaccurate, right? So I'm like, oh, thanks for sharing. You went to spend time with him.
Yes, I did.
And stayed there when nobody else did all the time. That's what he's saying. You're the only one that stuck it out with him, and he wants to say thank you for that, but you can't get mad at everybody else for not being able to handle it. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, you've got to forgive. It's the way it is. He says you are holding on to the story and being mad and feeling like, yes, I mean, you did do all that. You do everything too much, right? All the time, you're the only one that does anything. In the family, you're always the one that steps up to the plate, the always one that does all the things. Okay, so he just wants to acknowledge how important it was, because you talked to him a lot, because he was in a coma at the last stage. And he was still very present, and you were trying to make a joke and being silly. You're
Yes.
being like dumb and silly, and he just wanted to acknowledge the dumb and silly part instead of, he was really glad that you were doing that instead of moping, because it's the last thing he wanted was moping. You understand this, right?
Yes.
So he wants, he had a sports car, a special sports car, a red special sports car. He built it, or
I
what
don't
is?
recall, but he was into cars.
He collected little things.
Yeah, little models.
Little
Car
models, that's it.
models, yeah.
Don't throw them away, they're worth something, he says. It's like he's very practical. That's it, because some of them come in plastic boxes. A car
Yes.
does not come in a plastic box. Okay, so he's got a ton of them, apparently, and, well, enough to make you some money. He's being extremely practical right now, and he said you should sell them on eBay or something, because those little cars are worth a lot more than you think. I have no clue why he's saying this to you, of all things to say to you, besides the fact that he loves you so much. You're married? married to somebody right now that's like a can
Common
opener?
law.
He says you need to be a can opener to get him open up?
Yes.
Okay, he says that's why he's good, because he's quiet, but when you really need him to talk, it's like you got to be a can opener.
Yes.
But he's a really, really good guy, and he's really happy you're with him. Don't think he doesn't love you if he doesn't open his mouth. That's what that's what your brother is saying.
Still ahead, Luisa's brother comments on his funeral.
He's just making a joke. He just wants you he doesn't want you to get neurotic about that, but he was making a joke that he would never have picked those clothes.
In this reading, Luisa connects to her brother.
Did you like do something with his feet?
Yes, I did.
Yes, he said he wants to thank you for the foot massage.
That's it.
Yeah, because you were worried, something about his feet. So, and he was trying to make a joke about that he didn't get a manicure or pedicure because they were rough. Yeah,
Yeah.
so he said, thank you for massaging my feet. He was totally there for the whole time. And you were arguing with somebody too there, and he said it was really entertaining. Does that make sense to you at all?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
He loved it. He just, he definitely, so he went back and forth. You have to know he's okay where he is, and he really is okay. You need to tell everybody he's fine, and they need to move along. And that's how he says it, move along, as opposed to move on. Okay. Did he want to be a fireman? He says, I didn't get to wear the uniform I wanted. What does that mean? I didn't get to wear the uniform I wanted.
I
Does that
don't
mean
know
anything
about
to you?
that. No.
That'd be something to ask your family, because I definitely know it's him. He's just saying, or I'm wondering if oh, I get it. I know what he says. You didn't dress him right. You guys, he was hard to get his stuff on. Is that right? And was your mother there trying to pick the clothes or something?
We picked them for him.
Right,
Yeah, well,
okay.
obviously, because
He's just making a joke. He just wants he doesn't want you to get neurotic about that, but he was making a joke that he would never have picked those clothes. Oh. That's not about the uniform. I would have never gone out like that, is basically the words that he's saying.
Okay.
I think he would have rather been in gruffier clothes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like jeans, and you dressed him up a little
Yes.
too much. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
Like he says, you made me look like I was going to a wedding.
Yes. Yes.
He says, the next person that dies, don't do that to them.
Okay.
If a guy rides a tow truck or a motorcycle or something, put him in a pair of jeans and cowboy boots.
Okay.
But don't get screwed up about that. He's like
Okay.
just joking. That's the only way you're going to know for sure it's him.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for letting me do this to you.
We're a family of 3 siblings, and Sam was the one in the middle. He was always so vivacious and funny, and his main purpose in life, I think, was just to make people laugh, and he was really good at it. He had such an entrepreneurial personality. He opened up his own business. He had an auto mechanic shop, and he branched out to tow trucking as well. And unfortunately, that was the demise. The tow trucking business was the demise of his situation. In May of 1987, he was driving his tow truck home, and unfortunately, a van crossed over on the other line and hit him head on. The other driver did pass away on the spot, but Sam was rushed to a hospital and then airlifted to St. Michael's Hospital. And there he was in intensive care for 14 days, and we were by his side at all times. And then he passed away from there. In the 14 days, he was heavily sedated, so there was no opportunity to talk to him. He didn't say anything. So the question was, can he hear us? Does he know that we're beside him, that we're there supporting him and rooting him on? So we did, we asked the medical personnel to help us understand whether he did or didn't. So hearing this from Colette today really kind of put it to rest for us, that in fact he did. He was very aware that we were there, and we supported him throughout the 14 days. To hear it from him, to kind of say it's okay to let it go, is just kind of put some peace inside. Because I do think about it all the time. It happens so fast. And it was just a huge void in our life when it did happen. So it's just nice to hear that from him, to say, to let it go. Don't forget me, but let the situation go. So it's good. It's good.
I communicate with loved ones who have passed in order to bring through their messages, because until we're willing to face our old stories, they'll continue to have power over us. Our loved ones want to make sure that we live our lives to the fullest. So until next time, I'm Colette Baron-Reid with Messages from Spirit.
I love the show. I love Colette. She's amazing, just amazing. So it's great to be here.
I think it's awesome. I think it's really engaging and it gives me goosebumps. It's a really phenomenal show.
It's been good. It's been entertaining. Not what I expect. I didn't know what to expect, but it's been fun.
It's excellent, actually. I'm really enjoying it.
I think it's really great. I think it's really insightful. We're learning lots of new things about, what goes on the other side and communicating. So it's very interesting.
They've all been fascinating, really good reads, and there's been some moving ones, and they've all had their own unique story to them.
I think it's really great. She's really spot on with her readings of people. I definitely believe in spirit, that it's in us, around us, and all around, and I'm a believer.
She's wonderful. I love her personality. I love the way that she engages with the audience, and she has some incredible skills.
I think she's amazing. I think she's genuine. I think she's talented, and I think she's a loving person. And I think that she is willing to use her gift, and I think that's magnificent.
I think she can be really bang on, and she did an amazing job, and I will be coming back.
Actually, it's quite interesting. It's I find Colette's bang on with her answers. It's the energy in the room is incredible. The people that Colette brings in is overwhelming, definitely touching.